He's a chameleon and a genius. He's a basketball genius in the way that he can adapt to different talents and different teams and still be Devin Booker.
All right, couple more clips for you guys here. We got Anthony Edwards talking about Devin Booker's performance in the Olympics, as well as Carmelo Anthony on Devin's performance.
Steph had great games. He had great games. Bron had great games. But Book was like guarding the best player, turning down shots. You know what I mean? Like, because Book go for 70. Like, you know what I mean? So he was like, I ain't gonna lie. I was impressed watching him.
The one person on the team who had to change their role was Devin Booker.
And he killed it.
I've accepted the role of being a pick and pop guy.
He said it on Twitter like years ago. I think Kyle Kuzma was like, yo, anybody out there wants to play defense, hit open shots? He's like, I'll do it.
Devin Booker comes from that. In college, he came from that. He came off the bench. So he's used to earning his minutes and working his way and hard work. People forget about that. He was more adaptable to that role. He was the unsung hero on that team. That's hard to do.
He dated somebody in the Kardashian family, but he has undergone a bigger makeover than anybody in that group. From being one of the most hated players in the NBA and from a national perspective to being the most beloved from this Olympic team. I did not see this. This is like a comeback being down 3-0 and winning 4-3 in the finals. Like, that's how big of a swing that this was for Devin Booker.
I always hold my breath when you start a sentence that way. But no, I mean, we had been saying it for weeks on end, so this is not any new information. But again, Ant, who was on the team with him, Melo, who has an Olympic legacy of his own. People always focus on the NBA stuff and the things he didn't accomplish, but from an Olympic perspective, he was one of the greats.
Yeah.
So you hear it from Steve Kerr, from all these different names, and it's really cool to see that, like, something that Book tweeted way back when is something that he lived by throughout this entire experience, and now everybody else is able to sing his praises for it. That's a really cool kind of full circle journey that for him has stayed consistent throughout and been consistent with what he's been throughout his career, because early in his career, he had to adapt. He had to come off the bench, earn his stripes as a rookie. He had to play on G League caliber teams. He had to develop a three-point shot, a mid-range game, all these different elements of his game that he kept adding on over the years. He is one of the most adaptable players in the NBA. And I think aside from the fact that he's just a cool human being, that part of his game is why so many superstars want to come here and play with him.
And I really like how they went and took it all the way back to college, right? And brought that up as an example, because I think more people are going to start to go back. And instead of the narrative being like, well, Devin Booker doesn't play defense, they're going to be like, wait, when did Devin start playing really good defense? And then they're going to say, when did he develop this part? And then now, hopefully, we'll start to see the timeline we all got to see be what is actually like the narrative in the masses with Devin. That started here, worked his way up to here, added this to his game, added that to his game. And now what's next?
I got goosebumps hearing that, because I think we did a show like 2-3 weeks ago, and I brought up the Kentucky aspect of it. And I was like, you know, I know some really in-depth stories about how that thing played out. And like, Devin was kind of the last guy to come into that monster group. And it was like, there's no promises or guarantees, man. And then like a week into it, they like, holy shit, we have a massive problem. This guy is fucking incredible. And we got to do a platoon system. And they had a meeting at Cal's house, and they had to say, you five are playing and you five are playing, because this guy threw a monkey wrench into the best team that was ever assembled in college basketball. They didn't win a championship, but that, for my money, is the greatest team I've ever seen in college basketball. And so you look at this Olympic thing, and it's like, Book is like, man, I've been here, I've done that, I know how to do this. He's a chameleon and a genius. He's a basketball genius in the way that he can adapt to different talents and different teams and still be Devin Booker.
We all silly like the mayor.